Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Lisa from PassiveShirtProfits.com. So today I'm going to be giving you some tips and strategies for my favorite print-on-demand sites, and that is Merch, RedBubble, and Spreadshirt. They're my three favorites right now. Merch has been my favorite since I've been in Merch. It's been 2 years now. I am almost at the 100,000K commission marker or milestone. That's the word I'm looking for. But I will be very honest with you guys, and this is coming from somebody that sells courses on this stuff. It's a lot more competitive now. And I said this from day one on my podcast. We knew this day was going to come. However, it's still easier than, in my opinion, than the other print-on-demand sites out there, even with the added competition. But I hit the 50,000 in earnings way faster, or the first 50,000 way faster than I'm hitting the second 50,000. I think I'm at 95,000 right now, and I'm slowly creeping up to that 100,000 in royalties. But I mean, 100K in 2 years, that's more than some people make on their full-time jobs, and this is not even a full-time job for me. So I feel blessed and lucky. And by the way, let me do this. Let me cover this because it's going to reveal my shirt. But let me hit refresh, because a lot of times when people do this, they can hide or they can manipulate these earnings. So that's why you always want to make sure the person hits refresh, because I don't want people saying, oh, you're making this stuff up, blah, 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 blah. So let me just, first of all, let me hide my stuff again. This is the Pretty Merch premium plugin, you guys. I love this plugin because it gives you all these different stats. You can look at your shirts that you sold yesterday. They just added international and stuff like that to your daily sales. So let's talk about these numbers for those of you guys that are curious. Now, I've got 2,200 uploaded, but I really, in my opinion, I only count 1,300 because 900 of these are international, but I'm not selling hardly anything on international. These numbers that you see here are from 1,300 designs, pretty much. This 2,200, I always subtract 900 because I don't count international because I'm not selling there. The other thing, 25 sales today with only $77. That's typically very low for me. In terms of earnings, I tend to sell almost all of my shirts over $21, $22, even $23 sometimes. So typically when I'm at 25 sales, I'm way over 100, but I'm testing something out right now with pricing lower. And that's why you see only $77 for 25. I mean, that's like what, $3 on average per shirt. But I have a shirt that I'm selling really cheap right now that's making up a lot of these sales. As you can see, I've sold 12 today already. So I'm just doing some testing, but typically I do better than this. It just so happens my higher price shirts aren't selling as much today. But I definitely recommend pricing and pushing those prices as much as you can. With kids shirts, that's what I'm typically playing with sometimes when I go on the lower end. So I'm testing some things there. But I've also sold kids shirts at $21. So, it just depends. But Merch by Amazon is by far, you guys, my favorite. I think, at least in my opinion, the best things that sell there are like lifestyle topics, holidays, family type stuff, your generic type things, simpler designs. They don't have to necessarily be artistic. You just have to understand keywords. And I think the biggest mistake that people make with Merch by Amazon is they don't understand keywords. And when I say that, what I mean is you have to narrow down and cover as many keywords as you can in one design. So for example, I had a student who was like, I'm frustrated, I'm not selling anything. And so I said, well, show me your shirts. So he sent me a screenshot of his Manage tab in Merch. Every single one of his shirts had 3 titles. Funny soccer shirt, for example. That wasn't his keyword, but I'm just giving you an example. Funny soccer shirt, funny golf shirt. If you're doing that, if those are your titles, you're not narrowing down. You don't get this yet. And that's so very important. And I'm like, that's not what I was teaching you in this course. What are you doing? Did you watch the, So let me give you guys a great example of somebody that gets what it means to narrow down. This shirt right here is a perfect example of what it means to narrow down. It's using a pop culture phenomenon, which is kind of getting old. I mean, I do have some dabbing shirts that are selling still, but not as much as they were. This is not my shirt, by the way. But you got unicorn. Unicorns are really hot with girl shirts. So that's taking something that's popular in pop culture. Actually, two things, unicorn and dabbing. And then they're targeting it to a very specific person, 6th grade graduation. And they're using another phrase. So there's actually 3 things that are popular in pop culture right now that are all covered on one shirt. This is keyword gold right here, because you're giving this shirt many, many chances to get found. And that's what you want to do. At least that's been a strategy for me. If you were able to look at my titles for my shirt, they are all very, very long. Like, I never have something that says funny golf shirt or funny soccer shirt. Are you kidding me? It's too broad. You've got to find searchable keywords to put in your title to give your shirt an opportunity to be found. So somebody might be searching for a 6th grade graduation nailed it shirt. They might be searching for a 6th grade unicorn shirt. There's so many different keywords that somebody could be searching for that this shirt would get found for. And this is how you do merch. This is how you do print on demand in general. That's how you do it. The other key to my success, you guys, has been being first, having an idea and being first. So doing this keyword combination thing, but being the first to combine a certain set of keywords. The reason why that's so important is because when the shirt sells quickly, then you hurry up and make different variations of the shirts and you publish them to all the different products. So the long sleeve, hoodie, and all that type of stuff. And then you use variations of your keywords in your title to give those shirts different opportunities to get found for different variations of that keyword. And so the point is you want to get ahead of the copycats. So you put out a lot of variations so you can corner the market for that keyword. And I have about 5 or 6 different niches where I'm doing that. And again, being first, when it sells, you can get a bunch of other shirts out there, especially when you have a lot of slots like I do. You can get tons of shirts out there and then corner that market. And that's huge, being first. And I know that there's a lot of YouTube videos out here telling people to just, look at the BSR and just make a rendition or a better version of that shirt or change the font, change the color. You know what? That's going to work. But you're always going to be chasing success instead of setting the precedent. You know what I mean? You want to be the person where people are like, oh, that's a great idea. I wish I had thought of that. And then, because your ideas are going to get copied. I mean, there's no way around it. But the point is you want to try to get as many shirts out there as you can before the copycats catch up to you. And that's been a big, big part of my success. Now, don't get me wrong. When I was first on merch that first month, I was doing what a lot of people do. I'll just use that same phrase and change the font, change the color. I won't lie. In my early POD days, you guys, that's what I did. But if I'm being honest, you're not going to make 100K on merch copying other people's ideas. Being original will take you so far. And then having keywords that you can dominate has been a big, big part of my success with Merch by Amazon. But this unicorn shirt, I mean, if you want to use that as a template in terms of what to do, now you got to find your own keywords. And I stay up on pop culture a lot with what's going on in the news. And I watch different talk shows. I listen to what the young people are saying. And so I'm always like, my ears are always open. I'm always looking for shirt opportunities in my day-to-day life, talking to people. In my yoga class, I'm studying the people's shirt and like, okay, what are the yoga people wearing on their shirts these days? Just to get ideas, for design. So you got to keep your eyes and ears open. You want to be first. That's going to pay you big dividends in the long run. Okay, so let's talk about Spreadshirt. Let me go back to the home page here. What a lot of people don't know about Spreadshirt is that a lot of customers don't shop by doing this. Unicorn shirt. A lot of people assume that's how your stuff is getting found on Spreadshirt. I actually had a conversation with with one of the employees of Spreadshirt last year, and she told me, Lisa, actually a lot of people are creating their own designs. So they're finding your artwork and adding it to a shirt instead of searching for that particular shirt in the marketplace. So if you go to Spreadshirt.com and you click create and then start designing now, let's move this open here. Spreadshirt, and this is new, Spreadshirt now tells you their best-selling categories. So if you're trying to figure out what types of designs you want to upload, They're telling you this right here. Now, this is what some people would do. They would look at this and go, oh, basketball. Okay, so I'm just going to make another basketball. Well, there are probably 5,455 basketballs that look similar to these on here. If I scroll through here, I bet I'm going to see a lot of copycats. The key is, how can you take that basketball and combine it with another niche or another holiday? Once again, just like Amazon, really covering as many keywords as you can. So what I would do, and what I do on Spreadshirt, is I go, okay, basketball, how can I combine basketball maybe with a birthday design? Or maybe add Halloween, or I can take basketball and combine it with a geek design or whatever. So I'm trying to get as much keyword coverage as I can. But a lot of people are not aware of the fact that this is how people find your designs on Spreadshirt. It's not that they're searching for the shirt. They're searching for these images. And Spreadshirt even tells you, like I said, the best-selling categories over here on the left side. So you can peruse this just to get some ideas for what customers are searching for. And then, as always, this is how I started on Spreadshirt. I would start by looking at these categories at the bottom of their homepage to get ideas, which is what I've mentioned before in other videos. All right, so let's talk about RedBubble. Now, as I've mentioned before, the same things that sell for me on the other platforms were not selling for me on RedBubble, so I had to try a lot of different things. Now, RedBubble is without a doubt an artistic marketplace. So if you're an artist, and that's really what it's for, and I know there's a lot of people out there that want to keep RedBubble pure for artists, but I think with Merch by Amazon blowing up, it's changed. And so you see a lot more simplistic art on RedBubble that I know some people are not happy about, but hey, it sells. And I will say this, one of my first designs that took off on RedBubble was actually a very simple, well, not simple, but it was a distressed design, and it had text, mostly text, but a little bit of few images, and it was on a social topic. And I thought to myself, why does this keep selling? This is nothing like you see. I mean, this doesn't fit the RedBubble mold. It's not artistic, it's just on a social topic. But I went to Google Images and did a search, and there my shirt was number 2 on Google Images. So I think a lot of the stuff on RedBubble also gets found on Google, because Google seems to really like RedBubble, and you'll see a lot of their products, especially their stickers, on Google Images. And so I think that's where that t-shirt was getting found. So I use the social topics as an example because I was going through here the other day. You can tell what types of things sell on RedBubble by just clicking through the different accounts. And if you happen to notice someone's account that has a lot of favorites, that's typically an indication that they are selling pretty well. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go to that person's account and copy their designs, but you use that to get an idea of what is selling, similar to how we use the BSR for Merch by Amazon to get an idea for niches or whatever that's selling. So let's say you click through to one of these designs and you notice that the owner of that design has like 15,000 favorites, and you notice that all of their designs are text-based and they're political. And then maybe you notice another account that has a lot of social awareness topics, and their account is also popular. That gives you an idea. You can go, it seems like social awareness topics tend to do well on RedBubble, because RedBubble shows you the top selling design for each account. So you can kind of gather information just to get an idea of what types of things sell. So I'm not suggesting that you go and say, oh, the person that created this Me Too hashtag has a lot of likes, so I'm going to just copy all their stuff. No, you say to yourself, I've noticed that there are 4 different accounts that I've looked at today, and they seem to be doing well, and they're all politically motivated accounts, or they're focused on politics or social topics. So you can say, what am I passionate about? Maybe feminism. So you put together some text designs on feminism, or maybe since RedBubble is about art, maybe you do something like this with your own niche where you make some very creative text designs with art combined and put them on some posters and some stickers and see what happens. Upload about 30 designs or whatever for whatever niche you choose and see what happens. And that's kind of what I had to do with RedBubble. And you can look for trends. Like you might notice, I see a lot of stickers with this red background and this bold font. maybe I can do this for my niche, but you do your own keywords, your own niche. You don't just copy, somebody else's design. But a lot of POD, not just with Spreadshirt, but merch, all of them is studying the types of designs that sell on the platforms, because they're all different in many cases. Sometimes you will have some overlap. I do have some things that sell on all three platforms, but I also have some things that only sell on RedBubble. And it's just kind of like trial and error and research. And the more you do this, the better you'll get. And then you can continually put up more things that sell or have a greater chance of selling on the individual platforms. So that's something I think is very important if you're trying to figure out what sells on RedBubble. You got to study. But study does not mean copying people's ideas or designs, but it's about learning what can sell there and then choose a vertical niche. So you don't just go, oh, I'm going to do a Me Too account like everybody else. What are other social topics that you can choose, like feminism or LGBT or whatever? Maybe something that you're passionate about, and just start there. So those are my tips, you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.